Hey guys, welcome to your grammar workout course. All the fundamentals of English grammar in the time of a workout. It will be more grammar than workout, but don't worry. We're going to see all the fundamentals. This first video, it's a very simple thing, but it's fundamental. It's the first grammar I want to show you. It's about a simple system of the verbs in English. A lot of students have problems with it. So let's see the first video. English has two kinds of verbs. Now, this is a very simple idea. One kind of verbs are the modal verbs, or be verbs, and other verbs are do verbs that use the verb, auxiliary verb, do. Now, let me explain that a little better. There are two fundamental differences between the two kinds of verbs. The negative in verbs and questions, about how we form the negative and how we form questions. With the negative, we can do it in two ways. We can do it with just the word not, or we can use the auxiliary verb do. Now, this is the fundamental part, okay? Here, for example, we have some simple verbs, simple examples. I am not. I can not. I will not. And here, for example, we have I don't know, she doesn't know, you didn't have it, right? So on one side, we have the word not. On the other side, we have the auxiliary verb do. So how do we know the difference? So we have one side is the be verbs. Now, this is my name to put be verbs, but really the official grammar name is the modal verbs about will, can, must, etc. And then 90% of all other verbs are the do verbs because they use the verb, auxiliary verb to do. Now, the be verbs don't change in the negative. They will always just use the word not, right? I am not, I'm not with the contraction. We cannot, we can't. But it's always the word not. Now, with the do verbs, we use I, you, we, they, right? As in I, you, we, they, the for. In the negative, we use don't. So don't for I, you, we, they. Here, for example, I have, you have, we have, they have. I don't have, you don't have, we don't have, they don't have, etc. Right? Now, again, the be verbs don't change. And the do verbs that when they use for he and she, they use doesn't. Okay? As in, he starts, she starts, it starts, she doesn't start, no S, he doesn't start, it doesn't start. So the be verbs are always the same, always the word not. And the good news is we don't have a lot of them. In fact, here it's almost all of them. To be able, which is the infinitive of can, there's must, will, should, could, would, might, may. There's not a lot. So the basic system is not difficult to learn. Here, for example, you can see in every case, you are, you can, you must, you will. It's all, the negative is all just the word not. You cannot, you are not, you will not, you must not. It's a simple system to remember in the negative. Now, where a lot of students have problems is in these kind of sentences. Now, we've got one kind of sentence about happening now, and another one about like a routine or fact. For example, you are going there now, it's happening now, and you go there every day. If you think about the difference in meaning, you are going there now in this moment, it's happening now, and then you go there every day is more routine, right? Or a fact, happens every day. But when you look at the negative, where a lot of students have problems is that the verb to be and verb and ing is happening now. A lot of students have confusion because the not, don't, doesn't, didn't is all usually one word in other languages. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? For example, you are not going there now. But when you're talking about routine or fact, this is when we use don't. You don't go there every day. Here are just some simple examples of an error, right? The correct sentence is you don't go there every day. But a little normal mistake would be you not go there. Because the same word for don't, the negative, is usually just like no or not in a different language. Okay, so let's remember, with the modal verbs, you will always use the word not in the negative. In the do verbs with I, you, we, they, it will be don't. He, she, it will be doesn't. Simple, okay? All right, guys. I'll see you in part 2 of this video, where I'm going to talk to you about English has 2 kinds of verbs and the second difference, which is the difference in questions. All right, see you there, guys. Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of English has 2 kinds of verbs. In this video, I want to show you how questions are different between the 2 kinds of verbs. So with questions in English, we have essentially 2 ways to ask questions. One is to use the auxiliary verb do. For example, do you want to buy it? Where do they want to go, etc. Or another way is to change the word order. For example, where are you from? Not where you are from, but where are you from? Or what are they doing, right? So 2 ways. One is ask questions with the verb do, or we just change the word order. So how do we know the difference? Well, we see the differences again, the 2 kinds of verbs. One is modal verbs or be verbs, which is my name. And the other one is do verbs, verbs that use the auxiliary do, right? The modal verbs are really simple. It's to be, will, should, can, etc. And then do verbs are 90% of all verbs. Be verbs, the modal verbs, always change the word order. Always. Am I, will I, could I, should I. Now, with the do verbs, we've got do for I, you, we, they. Okay? Now again, look again about the modal verbs, because this is where people have the biggest problems. As in, they ask questions with the modal verbs, only changing the intonation, changing tone of voice. Now this is a problem because in 90% of other languages in the world, questions are extremely simple. You just change the intonation. For example, you are Irish. You are Irish? But in English, it always must be are you, right? Must you, will you, should you, could you. This is the fundamental part. This is what I want you to learn and to understand about how the modal verbs are different from the rest of the verbs. Okay? Here are more examples. Where are you from? Can you help me? Would you like to meet me? Should they be doing that? Etc. But in every case, you can see the modal verb, the word order is changing, okay? With I, you, we, they, you need the auxiliary verb do. Do I, need, want, etc., right? With he, she, or it, you need the auxiliary verb does. Does he send? And without the S, does he need to go? Not does he needs. This is incorrect. In the past tense, we have here, for example, you wanted to buy it. The negative will be you didn't want to buy it. And then the question will be, did you want to buy it? Okay? So always be careful about that there. Now, in the present, we have do for I, you, we, they, and does for he, she, it. In the past, with questions, we can use did with I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. It's very simple. Okay? Now, when you have a modal verb in the past, for example, the verb to be in the past, you must always remember the modal verbs will use not in the negative. I wasn't, I was not. And then you will change the word order. Was I busy? I was there last night. Was I? Get there? Changing the word order. Now remember, English has 2 kinds of verbs. We have the modal verbs and we have the do verbs. The first difference is how we form the negative of the verb. Be verbs use the word not, and do verbs use don't, doesn't, or didn't, depending on the situation. This is the fundamental part about English grammar that you need to learn. This is the first step, the first idea that's so important, and a lot of students have problems with it, particularly with the negative in the beginning or with questions. Remember, the second difference is how we form questions. Be verbs change the word order. Do verbs use do, does, or did, depending on the situation. Okay guys, I hope this was helpful and useful for you. I will see you guys in the next video when I'm going to talk about differences between present simple and present continuous. Hey guys, in this video, I want to show you some nice simple differences between the present simple and the present continuous. Because a lot of languages are not the same as English, and I want to show you exactly how to do it correctly. Now, the first thing is that the name present simple and present continuous. Now, present continuous is here in Ireland and UK. Present progressive is used in the United States and Canada, but it's the same thing. Let's look at some differences between some ideas or sentences. For example, I talk to my friends every day. I'm talking to my friends now. I go to the city center every day. I'm going to a U2 concert next week. I live with my family in London. I'm living in London at the moment. Okay, so let's just think about some differences and let's see one by one the differences in meaning. Okay, now the very simple difference and first difference is between something happening now and something that is a routine or fact. The first idea with the present simple is the idea of routine, right? Things we do every day as part of our routine. I have breakfast at 8 a.m. every day. My brother visits me at Christmas. I take the bus every day to go to work, right? Happens every day. Happening now is as simple about the verb to be and the verb and ing, okay? I am eating pizza. We are working now. It's very simple. A lot of people understand this, but a lot of people forget the ing when they are speaking, okay? They say, I am eat pizza. So I am eating, okay? Now, the present continuous is for now, but also future plans. Now, this is where it's very different to other languages. For example, I go there is a routine. I go there, like the city center. I go there, right? I am going there now is happening right now, this moment. And I am going there tomorrow is a future plan. Now, the big difference is a lot of other languages in the world where the translation for I go there for routine or now or future plan, sometimes it's exactly the same. So this is a big difference for you that we are going to use the ing to talk about future plans. For example, we have in English with the future, we have I will do it tomorrow or I'm going to do it tomorrow. We are going to see a video about will and going to later in the course. But for now, what you need to understand is that we have I will and I'm going, and this is two ways to express the future. But 90% of other languages, you guys use the simple present to express the future. This here is a classic example. I do it tomorrow. I do it tomorrow. Yeah, there, right? And it's not correct. It says I will do it or I'm going to do it. But we will see more about going to and will later in the course. Now, let's compare, for example, I go to my parents' house every 2 months, which is routine, and I'm going to a U2 concert next week, right? Which is a future plan. Now, if you think about the U2 concert, it's just an example. It doesn't happen every week. It's not a routine. It's just a future plan, right? Now, here's another example. My brother comes to stay with me at Christmas. It's a routine or fact that my brother comes every year, every single year. It's a routine, it's a fact, okay? But if we compare, my brother is coming to stay with me at Christmas. This is a future plan, but it's not a routine. It's the idea that, okay, this year my brother is coming to stay with me at Christmas, but he doesn't come every year. This is the big difference between that present continuous and present simple idea. That is a little confusing for some people. Now, present continuous is also for temporary actions. For example, one example is my parents live in Dublin. And that's like a fact or it's a routine. But here, for example, I'm living in Dublin at the moment. I'm living in Dublin at the moment, but I probably have plans to change soon. But it's temporary, right? The difference is if you say, I live in Dublin, it's permanent. It's your routine. It's where you live all the time. But I'm living, it's just temporary, okay? Next idea is present continuous for bad habits. Bad habits you don't like, right? One example is we eat a lot of fast food, like burgers and McDonald's, right? This is the idea of its routine, that we always eat a lot of fast food. But if you imagine just that you are on holiday and, we're eating a lot of fast food. It's like it's too much, and this is like a habit to get there, and you don't like it. Another example is I always forget my keys. And that's more of a routine, more of a description. And when you say, oh, I'm always forgetting my keys, so you're angry. It's a bad habit you don't like. I'm always doing that. Now, finally, when not to use the present continuous, okay? We have a group of verbs in English we call non-action verbs. This is the simple idea of like, love, and know. These are 3 examples. When you like something, there is no physical action. It's only in your mind, right? Like know and like love. And for some reason, it's not possible to say liking. I am liking it. No, it's I like it. They know it. But it's not possible to say they are knowing it. It doesn't make sense in English, which is probably different from your language. Here are some more verbs that you can look at, and they are the same idea of you can't use ing with them. Okay? Know, mean, presume. Okay? So let's remember the differences in present simple, present continuous. One is about happening now, or routine and fact. Okay? Present continuous is for now, but also future plans. Present continuous is for temporary actions, for habits you don't like. And finally, about when not to use the present continuous, which are the non-action verbs. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next video. We'll talk about present perfect. We'll start with the present perfect. See you guys. Hey guys, in this video, we're going to start an introduction to the present perfect and the past simple, just to see the form and the pronunciation. Now, in the videos before, I told you that English has 2 kinds of verbs, right? We have the be verbs and we have the do verbs. Now, the verb to have is a little special because sometimes it can be a be verb and sometimes it can be a do verb. Let me give you an example. I have time today. I have done it before. Think about what kind of word is time and what kind of word is done. Time is a noun or a thing, and done is a verb. It's a past participle, okay? Now, when I say past participle, we have the present, which is do, see, buy. There's the past simple, which is bought, saw, done. And past participle is the words like done, seen, brought, try. It's the third one, okay? Now, when we have and we have a noun after, like time, you can see here that it's I have time and I don't have time. Or do I have time? You can see here that when there is a noun after have, it's a do verb. It uses don't. But when it's have plus a verb, the past participle, look here that it becomes you have not done it. And have you done it? This is the crucial difference because as we see forward, the present simple will use have and the verb. I, you, we, they have been, seen, gone, right? He, she, it has, and then I, you, we, they have not, and he or she has not. Right? The basic form. And then if it's question, it'd be have I, have you. Just like we saw in the video about modal verbs and be verbs and questions about changing the word order. Again, has she, has he, has it, right? Now, another form is the present perfect continuous, where sometimes we see I have been working. I have been traveling. I have been studying. And we will see the differences exactly in another video. But just for now, it's good to see it to be ready. Or he or she, it has been traveling, etc. Right? Now, when we talk about the present perfect, we have 2 fundamental ideas. We will see lots of examples in the next videos, but just 2 simple ideas is one is an action that started in the past and continues now. For example, May 2017. Imagine you started to live in Dublin, in Ireland, right? And then we passed some months, September 2017. It started in May 2017, September 2017, it continues now, all right? If you can imagine that. You can say, I have lived in Dublin for 6 months, or I have been here for 6 months. Now, the second idea is an experience or action in the past, and we don't know when exactly, okay? So The idea is the person is speaking now and they say something like, I have been to Italy 2 times. Okay. I have seen this movie 5 times. No information about when. We know it happened, but we don't know when. Okay. So that's the 2 ideas. 1, it started in the past and it continues now. 2, it happened in the past and we don't know when. Okay, so in the next videos, we're going to see a lot more detail and a lot more ideas to really make this clear. So if it's a little confusing, don't worry. Just keep watching. Okay guys, in this video, we're going to continue looking at present perfect and past simple. And we're going to see about finished actions and unfinished actions. Okay? I want to tell you the story about how I went to study in Barcelona in 2008. Now, I am Irish. I am from a small town in Donegal town, Ireland. And I studied at a language school in Barcelona for 8 happy weeks. It was fantastic. I packed my bags and I prepared everything. And my intention was to go and study in the language school and find a job, like a lot of people, right, who want to travel and learn a language. I made so many friends at the school and it was so much fun at the language school. But the little problem was most of the other students, their English was fantastic and their Spanish was very basic. You had people from Germany, Canada, America, Australia, from everywhere, and usually their English was fantastic and their Spanish was pretty basic. So when I met new people, usually I spoke English. It's kind of a problem. And when I met new people, when I was in Barcelona, some very common questions were, how long have you been in Barcelona? How long have you been studying here? How long have you been living here? Right? Everybody was from a different country. Nobody was from Barcelona. And with this question, they wanted to understand how much time passed between one point and another point, right? The moment you arrived in Barcelona and the moment the person is asking the question. They want to understand how much time has passed, okay? It's the same idea as in this video, right? Like March 15th, 2008, started to live in Barcelona, and then 2 weeks later, I can say, I have lived in Barcelona for 2 weeks, or I have been here for 2 weeks. Now, usually the question that's really important for this is asking how long. When we use the present perfect, usually we want to understand how long or how much time between point A and point B. Now, in English, it's correct to say how much time. It's not very natural. It's not a native thing. We prefer how long, this question. How long have you worked at Amazon, right? Or how long have you been working at Amazon? Now, what is incorrect here is probably in your language, it's okay to use the present. This question, how long do you study here? Classic mistake. Classic mistake. Because the student, maybe your language, it's normal. 90% of all the languages, you can just use the present. English is complicated. So how long have you been here? Not how long are you here? Doesn't sound good. Doesn't make sense, right? Again, how long have you lived here? Not how long are you living here? How long have you been in Barcelona? How long have you studied here? How long have you lived here, right? You are still in Barcelona. You still study in this place. You are still living in this place. Remember, it's usually about something started in the past and continues now, okay? Now, today in 2018, I have very, very happy memories of Barcelona. But that was 10 years ago. Now we use past simple. Now, previously when I was in Barcelona, when it was continuing, I can use present perfect. But now, for example, people can ask me, how long were you in Barcelona, right? How long did you study there? How long did you live there? I was in Barcelona for 1 year. I studied the language school for 8 weeks. I lived there for 1 year, okay? Now, you can see the difference because it's not happening now. It's 10 years ago, okay? But don't worry if this is not clear. We will see a lot more examples, okay? Okay, So I'm going to see you guys in the next video where we're talking about part 2 of this video, finished and unfinished accents for present perfect and past simple. Alright, see you there guys. Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of finished and unfinished accents for present perfect and past simple. Now in this video, I want to show you some examples of how you can practice and start to make your own sentences with 4 common verbs: to be, to live, to work, or to study. If you think about the first questions you ask when you meet a person, you meet a new person, it's very common to ask these kind of questions, right? Where do you live now? How long have you been living there? Or if you think about the first questions you ask someone when you meet a person for the first time, well, where do you live? And they tell you the answer. And then you want to understand how much time has passed. How long have you been living there? Where do you work? I work at a language school. Oh, nice. How long have you been working there, right? These are usually some of the first questions we ask when we meet a new person, right? For example, I live in Dublin. I've been living there for 8 years. These are answers. I work at a software company. I have been working there for 8 years. Okay, let's imagine your first day at a new job, your dream job where you are working in a company speaking English, okay? You start to work on a new project with a software company making apps for mobiles. For example, at lunchtime, you sit beside the other team members and you start to get to know them better, right? You start to ask questions about their lives and you ask, where did you work before coming here? And they say, oh, I worked at da 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 da, right? But the moment you want to understand with your new team members that how much time has passed between the point that they started to work at the company and now, you have the 2 questions. How long have you worked here? And how long have you been working here? Right? And possible answers are, I've worked here since 2014, or I've been working here for 4 years. Again, it's the same concept. An action that started in the past and continues now. Started to work at the company, July 2017, still working there now, right? It's continuing. Now, when we use the word for, after we can use the quantity of time, right? For 6 months, for 10 days, for 10 hours. But when we have the word since, not science in pronunciation, since, you have either the time or the date, right? Since last November, since last year. I have been recording this video since 2 p.m., for example. Or it has been broken for 2 weeks, for quantity of time, and since is the time and the date, right? But with the word since, we have a lot of translation problems. In a lot of other languages, it's very simple, very easy to put since, how much time, and present simple. Since 2 weeks it is broken. And this is completely incorrect in English. You have a lot of this. I have been playing the guitar since I was 8 years old, for example. Or I have been playing the guitar for a long time. Now, here are the examples. I am playing the guitar since I am 8 years old. Now, the other person will understand. You communicate your idea, no problem. It sounds terrible. Sounds really bad. If you want fluent English, you need to learn this part. I am playing the guitar since 8 years old. I am playing the guitar for a long time. It sounds really, really bad. It doesn't sound correct and natural at all. So remember, since and the date. I have worked on this project since last December, but not I am working on this project since last December. Wrong, incorrect. So let's remember, the present perfect is for events that started in the past and continue now. I have been here for 6 months. I have lived here since last June. The past simple is for events that are completely finished, right? I was in Barcelona in 2008. 2008 is over. It's not possible to live 2008 again. It's finished. I worked there for 10 years. For example, in a hotel in my hometown, I worked there for 10 years. Those 10 years are over and I have no intention of returning, right? We lived there when I was a child. If you are an adult now, you can never be a child again. This is the difference, okay? Now, careful. when you want to show how much time has passed, use present perfect, not the present tense. For example, since March I work on this project. I'm working on this project since March. Wrong! It's I have worked on this project since March, or I have been working on this project since March. With the present perfect, the most common verbs are the verbs to be, to live, to work, and to study. When you want to ask or to show how much time has passed between point A and point B. Past simple is about things that are completely finished, right? I was in Barcelona in 2008. It's no connection with now. It's completely over. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we're going to show how we use the present perfect to talk about experiences in English. All right? See you there, guys. Hey guys, in this video, I want to show you how to use the present perfect to talk about our experiences. It's part of our human nature to compare experiences with each other as human beings, right? Places we have visited, foods we have tried, movies we have watched, people you have met. It's part of our nature, okay? Now, we use present perfect to talk about experiences when we are still alive, when the person is still alive, okay? I have tried sushi. I have been to Germany 3 times, right? When I say alive, it's the idea that I personally, it's true, I have been to Germany 3 times, but I'm still alive. I'm 32. It's possible that I go again. And this is the concept, okay? Now, we are focused on the experience. Here, for example, I have tried sushi. The focus is on the sushi, the experience of eating sushi, right? Now, we don't know when exactly, or we are not interested, okay? But we don't know when, right? So imagine the following conversation. Have you ever tried sushi? Have you? I go, yeah, I have tried sushi before. Where did you try it? Now, look at the difference of the grammar. The first question was, have you ever tried sushi? Yes, I've tried sushi before. But when I want more specific information, where? Okay, you have tried sushi. Great. I don't know when, where, or anything. But more specifically, I changed to past simple. Where did you try it? I tried it at a Japanese restaurant last year. Okay? Now, when you say, I have tried it before, we don't know when. I tried it yesterday. We know when exactly. That's the real difference there about experiences. I have tried it before. We don't know when. I've never tried it before, right? And the mistake a lot of students have is I never tried it before. Now that just doesn't make sense, right? Because you are still alive. As in, I have never tried, but I'm alive. It's possible I try it, right? For example, I have never been to Norway, the country. I have never been there. It's possible I go one day, right? This is why it's not possible to say, I never was in Norway. I'm still alive. Now, here, for example, I have been there before, the contraction, I've been there before. And it's possible to say, I was there last month, right? Because last month is now a more specific detail about when, right? And the wrong sentence is, I never was there. That's usually a direct translation from different languages. To say, I never was there, sounds very, very wrong, okay? Some languages use the present perfect too much. Some languages never use it. A simple rule is that we cannot use the present perfect with a specific time. For example, some nationalities have problems. They say, I have watched a movie last night. No, not possible. Because you could say, I have watched this movie, but you cannot say when exactly with the present perfect. You just can't. I watched a movie last night, okay? We have arrived this morning at 9 a.m. No. We know exactly when, right? We arrived this morning at 9 a.m. Okay? That's the first idea. Now, with this question, have you ever? The word ever is sort of special. One idea is to give emphasis, right? The best movie ever. That, like, not just good, but best ever. You got there, right? Another idea is, they don't ever do that. You know, as in, you can say they don't do it. Like, yeah, it's not so important, but they don't ever, ever do it. It's giving emphasis. The second idea is in questions, that when you are asking with the word ever, you are not sure. This is the idea of ever. You are not sure. For example, do you go to McDonald's? If I ask, like, do you go to McDonald's? And I think, yeah, maybe. I am sure the person will say yes. And the person says, no, I don't, I hate McDonald's. I never go there. I go, and I'm not so sure. Now I go, do you ever go? Do you ever go? If you compare the two questions, do you go to McDonald's? Yeah, I'm sure. I think the answer is yes. Do you ever go? I am not sure. That's the difference. So let's remember, to talk about experiences, we use the question, have you ever, in the past participle. For example, have you ever been to Germany? Have you ever tried sushi? When you want to ask more specific details, use past simple. Where did you try sushi? When did you visit Germany? All right? And when talking about your experiences, use present perfect. I have been to Spain 7 times. I have read all the Harry Potter books, right? And when you're talking about your experiences in the negative, you say, I have never been to America. I've never been to America, but cannot say I never was there. Or I never was to America. Not correct. Okay? Another example is I've never tried sushi. And it's not correct to say I never tried sushi. I've never seen Star Wars. I never saw Star Wars is incorrect. Alright? I think you get the idea. So I'll see you guys in the next video when we'll talk about the present perfect for results in the present. See you there, guys. Hey guys, in this video, I want to show you how the present perfect, how we can use it to talk about results or consequences for the present. Now, what I mean is about past events that have a connection to now. Past events with a connection to now. So let's take an example. Imagine you want to go to a concert with this young man here. You want to see him, right? You buy your ticket and you're ready and you're excited to go. The concert is on the 10th of March, right? But at the last minute, the singer tells everybody that he is sick and he cannot do the concert and the concert is cancelled. The singer announces on Twitter that he is sorry about the concert to his fans at 14:35 in the afternoon. Okay, just imagine that. Now, on the same day of the concert, you read about the news at 15:20. Okay, very precise. And the concert was supposed to be at 19:30. So, this past action at 14:35, this happened. He wrote on Twitter, and this has a connection or consequence for now. Because when you read, okay, the concert is cancelled. When you were waiting for the concert and suddenly your now is changed. Suddenly, wow, I need to change my plans tonight because concert's gone, it's cancelled, right? The concert has been cancelled. Present perfect, right there, right? The event at 14:35, the singer cancelled the concert, has consequences for the present moment, okay? You were hoping to go to the concert, but it has been cancelled, okay? 1 week later, after the concert, okay? And you tell your friend about what happened with the concert, but it's 1 week later. You say the concert was cancelled. Now, before we had the concert has been cancelled, and now we have the concert was cancelled. Why? 1 week later, there is no connection to the present. It's not the same. On the same day of the concert, the cancellation has a connection or consequence on the present. The concert has been cancelled. But 1 week later, there is no connection or consequence on the present. The concert was cancelled. It's more distant. Okay? Now imagine 2 weeks later, on the 24th of March. The original concert was supposed to be on the 10th of March. The singer tells everyone on Twitter that the concert has been reorganized for the 4th of April, right? Now, the singer tells everyone that on Twitter, the concert has been reorganized for the 4th of April. This event, when he told people on Twitter, the concert has been reorganized, has a consequence or connection to the present. Because suddenly, like, wow, okay, now we can go to the concert. We can go in next month. We can go next month. And suddenly it changes your now because like, wow, yeah, they're excited. Consequences for the present or for now, okay? Imagine you are working at a software company or any kind of company working in English. And think about the colleague-to-colleague communication, right? When you're talking to your team members, right? Or you and your manager, your boss, your supervisor, right? When the kind of communication, the meeting has been cancelled, right? They have organized an emergency meeting. The deadline has been extended. These kind of present perfect ideas. So if you can imagine that you are working in this moment, and let's say you are working at your computer, but you know that in 2 hours you will have a meeting, but suddenly you receive a message, an email that says the meeting has been cancelled. Has been because suddenly this changes your now. It changes your moment. If you are sitting at your computer waiting, watching the time thinking, okay, I need to go to a meeting in 2 hours, so work fast, and you receive an email, meeting has been cancelled, it changes your now. And just to show you, for example, like when we use it like today, because we're talking about the work today right there, it affects your now, right? Have you done it today? Have you finished the report? Have the reports been finished? But if we were talking about yesterday, we change the grammar, okay? Did you do it yesterday? Did you finish the report, okay? So for example, no, I didn't finish it yesterday. I didn't get a chance for yesterday. But today, the grammar is different. No, I haven't done it today. I haven't had a chance. This is the difference, okay? So let's remember, we can use the present perfect to talk about recent events that have a connection or result on the present. The concert has been cancelled, right? I have lost my job, right? If you receive an email like this, it changes your now. To talk about more distant events with zero connection to the present, we can use past simple. I was in Berlin last year with my friends. So what does not change my now, right? I finished the report 2 weeks ago, right? Okay, guys, that ends this video. I'll see you in the next video about the present perfect, where we talk about open time words and close time words. See you there, guys. Hey guys, in this video, I want to show you about using the present perfect with open time words and close time words. Let me explain what I mean. Now, we know now that the present perfect is used for unfinished events in some way, okay? And another simple way to understand when to use present perfect, when to use past simple, is to understand open time words and close time words. Now, open time words are expressions in time that indicate that a period of time has not finished yet, right? For example, today has not finished yet. This week, like for example, today is Tuesday. This week is not finished. This month, this year, this morning, this afternoon. Open time words. This period of time is not finished yet. Close time words indicate a time that has already finished. For example, last week, last month, last year, yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, right? We don't have time machines. We cannot live this time in the past again. So it's closed time words. So imagine you are looking for your boss. You need to talk to your boss and you ask your colleague, have you seen him today, this morning? Not there, right? But imagine that you are asking about yesterday. You say, did you see him yesterday or did you see him last week? The difference in the grammar is the difference of the time words. Today is open time. This morning is open time. Yesterday is closed. Last week is closed, right? This is the idea. So we have this and last, right? For example, I have needed to do this 4 times this week and I needed to do it 4 times last week. Can you see side by side how this open time needs the present perfect grammar this week And then last week needs that past simple closed grammar, okay? When you have, I have needed to do it 4 times this week, it's still the same week. And then last week is finished. A curious difference in the grammar is that we use present perfect to talk about a person's experiences when they are still alive, and we use past simple to talk about experiences when that person is dead. Now, for example, my father has lived in this house all his life. If you compare that sentence with open time, he's still alive and living in the house, but my father lived in this house all his life, that means that closed time, that sadly my father is not alive and will never live in the house again, okay? Or for example, I have been to France. Now, I am still alive, I can go to France again. Open time, it could happen again. We don't know when exactly. I have been to France. I have been to France one time, out there. But if you think about if my father is dead, I say my father was in France when he was a child. So I have been to France. I'm still alive. I could go again. My father was in France when he was a child. It's closed time. Now let's remember. Another simple way to remember to use present perfect, past simple, is to know about the differences between open time words and closed time words. Open time expressions indicate that time has not finished, right? Today, this week, this month, this year, this morning. Closed time words indicate a period that's already finished, right? Last week, last month, last year, yesterday morning, afternoon, etc., right? Now, a big difference between open time, closed time is the difference between life and death. Present perfect to talk about your experiences when you or the other person is still alive. Past simple to talk about experiences when people are dead. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video where we're going to talk about present perfect simple, present perfect continuous, and the past simple all together to make it really clear. See you then guys. Hey guys, in this video I want to explain the differences between present perfect simple and continuous and the past simple, okay? So let's be clear. Past simple is I did it. Present perfect simple is I have done it. Present perfect continuous is I have been doing it. Okay? The rules or the ideas of the past simple. The first one is about specific information or time. Usually the idea is much more specific, right? So I was in Barcelona in 2008. Usually we know the time, right? It's a finished event, like yesterday, last month, last year, and there's no connection to the present, right? That's the basic idea. With the present perfect, we know that unfinished events, actions that can start in the past and continue now, right? It's about experiences in the past when we don't know when. It's past events that have connections, right? The concert has been cancelled, they got there, right? And this is the form. This is the basic idea. So to compare side by side, we have I, you, we, they have worked, traveled. But the next one is I, you, we have been working, traveling, studying. Okay. So what's the difference? Common mistakes to know before you practice is about a lot of students forget the ing. They say I have been work. So I have been working, or I have been worked. This is another common mistake. I have been working. Okay. Now, when we look at the differences in the meaning of present perfect simple continuous, similar but a little different. Okay. If we look at 2 examples, I have traveled to 15 countries in my life. I have been traveling for 6 months. Stop the video. What's the difference? What's the basic difference between I have traveled to 15 countries in my life, I have been traveling for 6 months? When we have this here, I have traveled to 15 countries in my life, we're focused on the result of a finished action, right? It's almost like the question, how many countries have you visited, right? It's like it's the answer to the question. And it's open time when the person is still alive and the person will have the opportunity to travel again, right? I have traveled to 15 countries, but I will visit more because I'm still alive. I have been traveling for 6 months. This is a focus on the quantity of time. And this is the difference, right? How long? This question, this sentence, I have been traveling for 6 months, is essentially the answer to the question, how long have you been traveling? But remember, the action is continuing now, right? Now, let's look at an example side by side. So if we look here, I have been working here, we have completed, right? If you look at the first one, it's how long? It's an answer to the question, how long have you been working on this project? I have been working on this project for 6 months. What is the result, right? Okay. We have completed 50% of the project. Now, this is focused on the result, okay? Always need to remember that it's not correct to use the present simple or present continuous in this here. This is a classic mistake. I am working here 6 months. I am working here since 6 months. I work here since 6 months. I am playing the guitar since I was 6 years old. Do you have these mistakes? Do you have these problems? Do you want to speak correctly? I have been playing the guitar since I was 6 years old, right? Or these are all the other mistakes here. I've been working here since 6 months and stuff. This is what you need to stop doing. For a lot of you, it's not about what's the difference between present perfect and past simple. Stop doing this. When you want to show how much time has passed, use present perfect. I have been working here for 6 months. I have worked here for 6 months. Now, with the present perfect continuous and present perfect simple, sometimes the meaning is almost exactly the same, right? So I have been working here for 6 months. I have worked here for 6 months. So what's the difference? It's the same basic meaning, right? But I have lived here all my life. Is this form, I have lived, is about 30%. Like, it's correct, but the frequency of us native speakers, we like I have been living here more. We prefer it. We just like it, you know, about when we talk about an action start in the past, continue in the present. We prefer to use it, I have been living here all my life, right? It's just a question of frequency. So let's remember, the present perfect simple and continuous are sometimes the same meaning. I have lived here for 10 years. I have been living here for 10 years. The difference is that we native speakers would prefer I have been living here for 10 years, not I have lived here. Just not so common. Present perfect continuous usually refers to how long, right? I have been working here for 5 years, right? The present perfect simple usually just refers to the result, right? They have promoted me 3 times in 5 years, okay? Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next video where we're going to start a new topic and we're going to start talking about the past continuous, 4 ways to use the past continuous. See you there, guys. Hey guys, in this video and the next video, I want to show you the basics of the past continuous. I think the past continuous is a lot easier than the present perfect and the other grammar. So it's 2 videos with 4 ways to use the past continuous. So until now, we have seen the past simple, right? Which our examples are, I did it, they told me, she saw them, right? Examples of the past simple. Now let's see some examples of the past continuous. I was cleaning my house when you called. I was listening to music while my friends were studying. I was hoping you could help find me an apartment. At 8 p.m. last night, I was chatting to my friends on Facebook. So 4 examples and 4 different ways to use it, okay? The important part is the form, and always know the verb to be in the past correctly, right? I was, he was, she was, it was, you were, we were, they were, okay? Now you can see here, after that there, you will have I was and the verb and ing. I was talking to him. You were going there, right? In the negative, just like we saw in the first videos with the be verbs, to be will always take not in the negative. So was not, wasn't, were not, weren't, okay? And if it's a question, you must change the word order. So, was I going there? Were you talking to him? Was he going there, right? A point of confusion for a lot of students is they think that when you have the words when, where, what, why, that it is not necessary to change the order. A lot of students think this. A lot of students believe that when you have what, it's not necessary to change the order. It's like what he was doing, because this is how it works in your language. Probably in your language, questions just change the intonation. But in English, you must have the correct word order, right? Why was he doing it? When were you going there, etc. So the 4 different ways we can use the past continuous is, number 1 is simultaneous actions. Number 2 is asking for things politely. Number 3 is actions around a point in time. And 4 is interrupted actions. Okay? In this part 1, let's focus on simultaneous actions and asking for things politely. We will see the other 2 in the next video. Okay? Simultaneous actions. We can use the past continuous to describe 2 actions that are happening at the same time. Now, 2 very important words are when and while. While is at the same time, right? That's the meaning of while. Notice when and while are used in the examples. I was listening to music while my friends were studying. My friends were making so much noise when I was trying to sleep. While I was preparing this PowerPoint, my housemate was cooking dinner for a friend. Simultaneous actions. 2 things happening in the same moment. The other way is asking for things politely. English is a very indirect language. We use a lot of polite ways to ask for something. Is it okay if? Would you please help me? Could you please show me? And this is very, very different to other languages. Other languages have different ways to ask politely for things. So when we want to use the past continuous to ask for things politely, 2 important verbs are to hope and to wonder, okay? I was hoping, I was wondering. I was hoping I could confirm the meeting, right? I was wondering if it would be possible to meet a different day. 2 polite ways to ask for something, to confirm the meeting or to meet a different day. This is extremely important in business in English. When you are doing business in English, it's very important to understand these polite phrases and ways to ask politely. So when we look at I was wondering if, really it's I was wondering and if and the person could or would and then just the verb, right? So here, for example, I was wondering if they could show me what to do. I was wondering if you could leave a nice review of this course. The other one is I was hoping. Now, the structure is a little different. I was hoping and the person could and would and then the verb, right? I was hoping we could go to the supermarket today. I was hoping I could buy it now, right? All polite ways. Or another way is I was hoping to. I was hoping to send this letter. I was hoping to go there. I was hoping to talk to the manager. I was wondering if you could tell me where I can find a restaurant. We were wondering if it would be possible to buy the tickets for the concert today. We were wondering if it would be possible to buy the tickets for the concert today. I was hoping to talk to the human resources manager. I was hoping we could sit down and talk tomorrow, right? So let's remember, simultaneous actions. 2 actions happening at the same time. We can use the past continuous to describe 2 actions using the words when and while. The other way is asking for things politely, using the expressions I was wondering if, or I was hoping we could, or I was hoping to, right? So I'll see you guys in the next part where I'm going to talk about the next 2 ways we can use the past continuous. All right, guys, see you there. Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of 4 ways to use the past continuous. So the other ways we can use it are actions around a point in time or interrupted actions. Okay, let's see some examples. Actions around a point in time. Now, one idea is a specific point in time. For example, here at 11 a.m. I was watching the news. At 4 p.m. she was still working, right? Now, another way is not just a specific time, but around a period in time. Now, this can be a longer time than just a specific time, right? So I was working at a sports shop last year. So it's a longer period of time, right? I was studying at university in 2008, right? It's not a specific time, it's just a period of time, right? Now, when we want to describe different kinds of periods, expressions are like time expressions are really useful. For example, at the time I was working a lot. That week, that month, I was working like crazy that week, that month. In the past, last week, last night, last week, month, year, etc. Or all last night, all last year, last month, or all yesterday, for example, right? These are all time expressions we could use to make sentences with the past continuous. Can you make any sentences now? So at the time, I was working too much to play guitar. I normally work 35 hours a week, but that week I was working 50 hours. We were working on the presentation all day yesterday, right? So it's these past continuous things happening continuously in the past during a period of time, okay? Now, of course, if we want to talk about quantity of time, we need the preposition for. It's always for and the quantity of time, right? For a really long time, for ages, which is an expression for a long time, or for 6 months, right? So it's the for and quantity of time. She was waiting for the concert for a really long time. I was trying to fix the problem for ages. He was working on his final project for 6 months, right? Okay, the next idea is interrupted actions. So let's see some examples. We can use the past continuous to talk about one action that was interrupted by another action. For example, if you imagine you are in your home and you're watching a movie and suddenly you hear the tick, 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 the alarm. We were watching a movie when we heard the alarm. If you think about, if you are watching a movie and you hear an alarm, the alarm interrupts what you were doing, right? It interrupted the action. But you can see that the past continuous describes what was happening continuously in the past, and past simple interrupts, okay? For example, the action starts in the past and continues, right? For example, I was cleaning my house when you called me. And when you called me, this action interrupted what I was doing, right? Past continuous for the continuous event, past simple will interrupt, okay? Some more examples of this kind of sentence. I was walking in the street when I met my friend. I was talking on my phone when my battery died. Familiar, right? So compare the actions. I was walking on the street when I met my friend. This action started to happen and continued to happen until it was interrupted by another action. Okay? I was walking on the street when I met my friend. One action interrupted the other action. Now, let's remember, we can use the past continuous for actions around a point in time, a specific point in time. At 11 a.m., I was watching the news. At 4 p.m., she was still working. We can also use the past continuous to describe actions around a period of time, and this can be a longer time. I was working at a sports shop last year. I was studying at university in 2008. And finally, we can use the past continuous to describe interrupted actions, when one action interrupts another. I was watching the TV when my friend called me. Okay guys, that ends our 2 videos about the past continuous. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, please send me a message. In the next video, we're going to start talking about going to and will for spontaneous offers and planned decisions. Okay guys, see you there. Hey guys, in this video, I want to give you a quick introduction to the difference between going and will. Okay? So it's a big question. All the students ask, what is the difference between going to and will? All the time I receive this question. So in English we have I will do it and I am going to do it. And in speaking we make the contractions of I will to I'll And I am going is I'm going, okay, in speaking. Now, the fundamental meaning is the same. It talks about the future. The basic idea is the future. That I will do it tomorrow. I am going to do it tomorrow. The fundamental idea is the same, okay? Now, we need to be clear about this in English because this is where people have real problems, especially when your language is very different. I am going in English is two possible meanings, two possible things. One is I am going now. I am going now, right now, in this moment, right? Or another is I am going and to and the verb. And this means the future. I am going to do it. For a lot of students, people don't really understand why we are using ing for future when you always learn that ing is present continuous and for now. So it's both. It is the two things. That is the important point to learn about going to when you begin. Now, what everybody makes the mistake is using the present simple to express the future. I go to do it now, right? This is the real problem with our students. 90% of all languages in the world express the future with present simple. For example, okay, I call you tomorrow. We send the email in 2 days. Okay, I help you now. These are the classic mistakes I hear all the time. Because if you stop and think about it now, look at the translations, look at the sentences. Okay, I call you now. Does your language translate directly? Are you using just the present simple to express the future in your language? The answer is probably yes, because 90% of the world's languages do this. This is the real problem. A lot of students ask, what is the difference between going to and will? That's one question, but really is stop doing this. This is your real problem. Lots of students are using the present simple. Okay, I call you now. I send you the file tomorrow. We go there next week because it's so natural in your language, but it's wrong in my language. This is the difference. It's not about what is the difference of going to and will. Stop using the present simple to express the future, okay? Alright guys, that ends this video. In the next video, I'm going to continue talking about going to and will, but for spontaneous offers and planned decisions. Okay guys, see you there. So let's look now at the differences of how we use going and will, specifically now for decisions, okay? We make decisions every day. Every day. Everybody makes decisions. But sometimes we make quick, spontaneous decisions in the moment, and sometimes we make plans, right? For example, a quick decision. Which movie to watch on Netflix? Normally we watch stuff online to relax. It's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. Just a movie, just something to watch, right? What kind of coffee do you have? Cappuccino or latte? They're not big decisions, right? Another one is to offer to help someone. Maybe at work. You see your colleague has problems and you offer in the moment, right? Or for example, if you are with, I don't know, like some children and they are your nieces and your nephews or your cousins. And I will offer to buy something, right? Something small. But they're quick, small decisions. Now, planned decisions are more serious. Think about this. Where to live. You don't make a quick decision about where to live. You plan it, right? Where to work. Again, you make a serious plan. You check all the situation and out there. Where to travel on holiday, to get married. So we've got quick decisions, easy decisions, and planned decisions, okay? Imagine a restaurant. Imagine you go to a restaurant with your friends or your family or whatever. The waiter comes to the table, he takes your order, and you order the salmon. 2 minutes later, the waiter comes back and tells you, "Very sorry, but we have sold all the portions of salmon today." He gives you the menu and he asks you to choose something else. The restaurant is very busy. It's really busy and you are hungry. So you make a quick decision. Just make a quick decision. Okay, I will have a hamburger. Not important. Quick decision. I will have a hamburger. No problem. Let's imagine you loved the hamburger. The hamburger was amazing. And you liked it so much, you start to make the plan to go back to the same restaurant with your friends, right? And you tell your friends, that was so good. That was so good. I'm going to come back here next week. I'm going to come back here next week. So when we look here about your quick decision, well, previously you wanted the salmon and it's not possible to have a salmon and you're hungry, the restaurant's busy and you make a quick decision. So you had no previous plan to have a hamburger. It was, okay, I will have a hamburger. Okay. Now a planned decision is you love the hamburger so much, you want it again and you make a plan to have it again. That's the difference. A spontaneous decision with will and a planned decision with going. Okay? One of the best situations to see of when we use will is offering to help someone in a spontaneous offer, right? You are making a quick decision in the moment. Now let's look here. I'll is a contraction of I will. So let's imagine your colleague asks you, can you send that email? And you make a quick decision, make a quick offer, and you say, I'll send you the email tomorrow, right? But you can't say this. This is the problem. Maybe in your language, say, I send you the email tomorrow. Okay, I understood. It's not correct. This is the important thing, right? We'll come to meet you at the airport. Not we come to meet you at the airport. I'll help you with the housework, not I help you with the housework, okay? Now here a planned offer is different. I'm going to help my mother clean the attic this weekend. She asked me for help a week ago. A plan was created, right? Or I'm going to help my son with his homework tomorrow. He told me he needed help previously, right? It's planned, it's different. So let's remember, will is for spontaneous decisions. We make the decision in the moment of speaking. Going is for planned decisions. The decision was made even before the moment of speaking. Okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video where we're going to talk about going to and will for predictions. Okay guys, see you there. Hey guys, in this video I want to continue to show you the differences between going to and will, but in this video I want to show you about the differences of going and will with predictions, okay? Going to and will for predictions. We have two kinds of predictions, okay? One is predictions about what we think or believe before the event, okay? What you think or believe before the event, and then predictions when we can see evidence about what is going to happen. That's the two ideas. So here's a prediction, and this is true. I think virtual reality will be the next important technology. Now, it's not the next important technology now, so I'm speaking before the event. Or if I think it's going to rain. The difference is I can physically see the evidence, right? I live in Ireland, so when I look at the sky, yeah, I think it's going to rain, you know? So let's imagine the World Cup final, just to show you the examples, right? A few days before the World Cup final between Italy and Spain, right? You're talking to your colleagues at work at the lunch break, talking about your predictions before the final. And you start to make predictions about who you think will win, right? We often use will with I think, I don't think when making predictions. For example, I think Spain will win, or I don't think Italy will win. It is more common to use I don't think and will, not I think and will not, okay? So the night of the final, you go to see the match with your friends at a bar, okay? There are 20 minutes left in the match and the score is Spain 3, Italy 0, right? We can see evidence to make a prediction, okay? We are in the bar watching the football match and we say Spain are going to win. We can see the score. Italy are going to lose, right? So there's what we think before the event, as I think and will, I don't think and will, I think Spain will win, I don't think Italy will win. And then when we can see evidence, right? Spain are going to win, Italy are going to lose, because we can see the evidence. So one last example. You have a meeting with your team at the company where you work, right? The team make a deadline for the project. A deadline is the final day, final date when you must finish your project. So the team make a deadline for the project. They predict that 6 weeks will be enough to complete the new mobile app. Okay, just an example, making an app, right? I think 6 weeks will be enough. I don't think we will need more than 6 weeks, right? They are making the predictions before the event, before they have started, right? Week 4 of the project, the team has some problems, right? The app is not as easy to make as the team previously predicted. They can see that some parts of the software are simply not ready yet. We are going to need to change the deadline. It's not going to be ready. We use going to because we can see clear evidence to help us make a prediction. On week 4 of the project, the engineers can see the software is not ready. It's not complete. We are going to need more time. So there's what we think before the event. I think 6 weeks will be enough. We don't think we will need more than 6 weeks. And then when we can see the evidence, right? It's not going to be enough time. We are going to need to change the deadline, right? Now, let's remember, going to and will for predictions. There's 2 kinds of predictions. 1 is predictions, what we think or believe before the event. And 2 is predictions when we can see evidence about what is going to happen. We use will for predictions about what we think or believe before the event. And we use going to for predictions when we can see evidence about what is going to happen. So that ends this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope it was clear. I'll see you in the next video when we're going to start talking about gerunds and infinitives, explaining everything about words with ing. Okay, guys, see you there. Hey guys, in this video, I want to give you an introduction to gerunds and infinitives. So, gerunds and infinitives. If this is not clear, let's see an example. Gerunds is the verb and ing. The infinitive is the word to and the verb, okay? But let's see lots of examples. Let's compare 2 examples side by side, right? Learning a new language is a process. They want to learn to speak English. Now, what's interesting is if you translate the 2 sentences into your language, learning and to learn are probably the same word, right? Because you don't have that difference. Another example is traveling is cool and I need to travel next week. Stop the video and just think, what's the basic difference? Can you discover it? Can you see it? If you look here, learning a new language is a process. When we use learning, like this here, it's a reference to the activity in general, right? It's not very specific. It's very, very sort of general. Learning a new language is a process. They want to learn to speak English is a specific intention. It's much more specific. But if we compare, for example, learning a new language is a process. Do we know who? Do we know what language? No. Do we know where? Do we know anything? Do we know any specific information? No. But when you have they want to learn to speak English, we know who. We know they want. We know what language, right? Now we have much more specific information. They want to learn to speak English is that specific intention, and to learn is the infinitive, okay? We know who and we know what they want to learn. We have more specific information. Now, the four most common verbs that take the infinitive are to want, to need, I would like, and going to, right? So what I mean is after I want, I need, I would like, and I'm going, you must have the word to and then the verb, okay? The most common mistake we see is I want go, I need buy. No, it's completely wrong, right? Now, modal verbs are the exception to this rule. Can, must, and should, for example. Here, if you say I can to do it or must to do it, that's wrong, okay? That's the essential part. Here, if we look here again, I want, I need, I would like, and I'm going. To and the verb, okay? Modal verbs can, must, and should are the exception, right? I can go, I must buy, I should be, okay? I can do it, I must do it, I should do it, okay? This is the part I want to be really, really clear. A word with ing in English can be three possible things. It can be an adjective, which describes permanent characteristics. For example, interesting, boring, confusing, right? You are describing a thing. You will say, economics is interesting. Politics is boring. Mathematics is confusing, right? The other one that you are very familiar is the continuous, right? As in, I am doing it, she was going there, etc. It's this continuous verb idea that you know pretty well. Now, the important one is the gerund, right? The reference to the activity. Learning English is easy, right? Remember, learning English. Here, we are talking about the activity of learning, the general idea, okay? So that ends this video, guys. In the next video, I'm going to show you some simple, easy ways and common ways to use the gerund in your sentences. Okay, guys, see you there. Hey guys, in this video I want to show you the most common and simplest ways to use gerunds in your sentences. Okay? Now, three most common ways to use the gerund and to avoid mistakes. When the sentence starts with a verb. So simple, but watching videos on YouTube is a good way to learn, right? Eating fruit is good for you. But when you say watch videos on YouTube is a good way to learn. Does this mistake look familiar? Do you have this problem, right? Now, can you see why it's wrong? It needs to be, or eat fruit is good for you. Now, the problem starts in that in your language, watch videos on YouTube, this is a direct translation. Probably in your language, you don't have the ing, okay? This is the part you need to learn. When you start your sentence with a verb, it will be with ing, okay? The second one is so simple. When the verb is directly after the words after and before, right? After watching a movie, I went to sleep. Before going to work, I went to the gym, right? It's so simple. After watch a movie, I went to sleep. This is wrong. Before go to work, right? But in your language, this is a very direct translation. I think the translation in your language is correct, okay? In English, it's not. Now, the final one is about using verbs after prepositions, right? We have lots of expressions. To be afraid of doing something. To be good or bad at doing something. to be interested in buying something, to be tired of doing something, to be sorry for being late, thank you for helping me, right? To look forward to doing something. Like this expression, to look forward to, is you are waiting for something positive to happen in the future, right? You are looking forward to. Now let's remember, we use gerunds to talk about a general reference to the activity, the general idea. I'm good at speaking English. Thank you for watching this video, right? We use infinitives for more specific intention. I need to learn English. I want to travel next year, right? Now, the four most common verbs that take the infinitive are to want, to need, I would like, and going to. I need to learn English. I want to travel next year. I would like to go there. They are going to do it. Don't forget the to. Now remember, a word with ing can be three things. It can be an adjective describing permanent characteristics. It can be the continuous verbs, or it can be the gerund, which is the reference to the activity, right? Okay guys, I hope that you liked the video. I hope it was clear for you. In the next video, I'm going to show you how we use gerunds and infinitives with the verb to stop. Okay? See you there, guys. Alright guys, that ends this video. I will see you in the next video when I want to continue talking about gerunds and infinitives, but specifically with the verb to stop. See you there, guys. Hey guys, in this video I want to continue with the gerunds and infinitives. I want to explain the differences between gerund and infinitive with the verb to stop. Okay guys, let's go. So we learned before that gerund is the verb with the ing. Traveling is cool, right? Infinitive is to and the verb. I need to go. Now the verb to stop. Now we are interested in the difference between to stop to do something and to stop doing something, right? A lot of students have problems with this. If you can imagine you are walking on the street in your city and you see your friend walking in your direction and you say his name, hey Terry, hey. Imagine I'm your friend, right? You say his name and stop to talk to him, okay? So when you say, I stopped to talk to my friend, it's the reason why you stopped. You were doing something and you stopped, but you stopped to do a different thing, okay? Now, for example, if we have to stop talking to someone, it's very different. Now, everybody can remember when they had a problem or an argument or a disagreement with a friend, right? And then to stop talking to someone is you stopped the activity. If you remember the last time you had an argument or you had a problem with your friend. If you can remember the last time you had a problem, an argument with your friend or family, and the activity of talking, you stopped the activity, right? I remember I had a friend and I stopped talking to him for 2 months because we had a big problem. We did not want to talk, right? Now, this is a classic mistake when students say this. He can't stop to talk. He can't stop to talk. Now, the meaning here is the person, he doesn't have time to talk. He doesn't have time to stop to talk. He cannot stop what he is doing to do something else, right? When really, he can't stop talking. It's really like the activity, right? It's the activity itself. He can't stop talking and he talks. He never shuts up, right? Now, one of the best examples is I need to stop to smoke. I need to stop smoking, right? If you think about this, I need to stop to smoke. If you can imagine a situation where you're driving and you have a friend who smokes and he says, I need to stop now to smoke. I need to stop driving to start this other activity, right? But I need to stop smoking is just the activity in general, right? Almost everybody who smokes says, oh, I need to stop smoking. I need to stop smoking, right? Or this is another classic one. I can't stop to laugh. I can't stop laughing. Now, obviously, like I can't stop laughing is when something is so funny and you can't control yourself. You can't stop the activity. A lot of students, their intention is to say, I can't stop laughing. And I hear this from my students, I can't stop to laugh. This makes no sense because you are saying, I don't have time to stop to laugh, right? Can you see the difference? Okay guys, that ends this video. In the next video, I want to talk about the gerund and infinitive with the verb to try. Okay guys, see you there. Hey guys, in this video we're going to continue with gerunds and infinitives, looking at the differences with the verb to try. Okay? Let's go. Now let's see with gerund and infinitive with to try to do something and to try doing something. Alright? Now the essential idea of to try is to make an effort, right? You are trying something, right? Now you can make a really serious effort. You can really try to do something, or it can be a test or an experiment to see, right? So, for example, I am trying to improve my English, right? You guys are trying to improve your English. You are making a serious effort. This is not a joke. You really want to learn English. You paid money for this course, right? You are trying to improve your English. Or here, for example, I am trying to contact my boss. It's a serious effort. I really want this. Or I am trying to fix my computer. Again, it's a serious effort. You really want to achieve this. This is serious for you. You need or want this. Now, another idea is about testing and trying new things, right? For example, and this is true, this year I'm going to try getting up earlier in the morning before work to see if it helps my routine, right? It's an experiment, it's a test. It's going well. I think I will also try doing yoga before going to bed, okay? So try doing something is an experiment or a test to see what happens. To try doing yoga, you can try doing yoga. Maybe you will like it, maybe you will not like it, but it's a test, right? I want to try getting up earlier. I want to see if it's better for me or if it's good for me, right? Another one is I have a friend, Amy, and she likes languages. She is Irish, and she wants to try learning Japanese. Now, it's not a serious effort, it's a hobby. She likes the country, but she's going to try learning Japanese just to see what happens. Now, let's remember, when we use the infinitive after the verb to stop, we say why we stopped. I stopped to talk to my friend. When we use gerund after the verb to stop, we mean to stop the activity, right? I stopped drinking coffee. And this is true. I have a problem with my stomach. I can't drink coffee now, and I completely stopped drinking coffee. Completely. To try to do something is a serious effort. It's something you really want to do. And to try doing something is an experiment or test to see what will happen. Okay? Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video when I'm going to explain gerunds and infinitives with the verbs to remember and to forget. Okay? See you there guys. Alright guys, in the next video, it's our last video about gerunds and infinitives with the verbs to remember and to forget. Okay, I'll see you there guys. Hey guys, in this video we're going to continue looking at gerunds and infinitives, but specifically with the verbs to remember and to forget. Okay? So let's see some examples. We've got to remember to pay the internet bill, to remember paying the internet bill. Okay? When we use the infinitive after the verb to remember, it is an obligation or something we are supposed to do. I remember to pay the internet. It's an obligation. If I want internet, I must pay. We can use it in the past or the present, and the meaning is the same. I remember to pay the internet bill, like a general description of my life, and then I remembered to pay the internet bill, okay? But it was an obligation or something I am supposed to do, right? He remembers to do it. He remembered to do it. Something he was supposed to do. Now, when you have here, I remember paying the internet bill, it is a memory of the past. You are speaking now. I remember paying the internet. If you can imagine that the internet company called me and said, hey Terry, where's the money? You didn't pay the bill. I go, there's something wrong because I remember paying the bill. If you imagine a situation, I'm on the phone talking now, but I am remembering that moment of the past. I remember paying that bill. This is strange, right? And this happened to me, and the reality was I transferred the money to the wrong account. So I remember transferring the money, but it was to the wrong account. When you are remembering the past, I remember playing as a child, right? I don't remember saying that, right? It's about your memory of the past. With the infinitive and gerund after the verb to forget, the meaning is the same as with to remember. I forget to do it. I forget to do something I am supposed to, right? Like I normally drink milk, right? I forget to buy milk sometimes, right? Or I forget doing it. I don't remember the past action, right? I remember doing it is your memory of the past. And then when you don't remember, I forget doing it. Now let's remember. To remember to do something is to remember to do something you are supposed to do. To remember doing something is to have a memory of the past event, right? To forget to do something is to forget to do something you're supposed to. To forget doing something is to not have a memory of the past event. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed those videos about the gerund and infinitive. I hope they explained something for you. In the next video, we're going to talk about obligations, of the difference between have to and must. Okay? See you there, guys. Hey guys, in this video, I want to give you a simple introduction to the differences between have to and must. Okay? So have to and must, obviously, we are talking about obligations in life, things we need to do, right? But we have two ways to show this in English. It's I must do it and I have to do it, okay? Now, I must is a lot about the first difference of must and have to is that we can use must for personal obligations or for personal opinions, okay? And have to is usually an external obligation or a rule, right? A rule at work. You have to arrive at 9 a.m., right? Or this stuff. So let's just compare personal obligations and external obligations. For example, I must and I have to. I must do more exercise, right? So this is my personal opinion. I must do more exercise. And nobody is telling me to do it. It's me, only me. I must do more exercise. I have to be at the office at 8:30. Now, if you work in an office, you know you have a boss, and your boss tells you, you have to be here at 8:30, okay? So on must, one idea is the internal obligation, like I must do more exercise, must do more exercise. I must do more exercise. I don't have to. Nobody is telling me to do it, right? Another example is I must practice my Italian. Now, I speak Italian. I like Italian. I don't live in Italy. I don't really need to speak Italian. I just like it. And I say like, oh, I must practice my Italian. Personal opinion. I have to practice my English for work. Familiar situation, right? Where you know you will be at work. You know you need to communicate, and there's more of an external obligation, like maybe your boss tells you you have to speak better English. You have to improve your English for work, or you know, right? So another difference is when you have the negatives, I must do it, and the negatives, I must not do it, right? Now, I must do it is a personal obligation. I must not do it is something illegal or dangerous, like bad idea. Must not. You must not drive a car after drinking alcohol. You have no choice. It's the law. It's a rule, right? But you must not, because driving when you are drinking is illegal or dangerous, right? Now, I have to do it is an external obligation or a rule. We saw before, I have to speak English at work. I have to arrive at the office at 8:30. I don't have to do it is the idea. It's okay, but it's not necessary. It's okay, but not necessary. I don't have to go to the office every day. Sometimes I can work from home. Now, I have a student who can work from home one day, right? So he does not have to go to the office every day. He has an option, okay? Now, he can go to the office every day. He can if he wants to. It's okay, but not necessary. That's the difference. So at work rules, right? You have to be polite to other team members. It's a rule. You must enjoy the work you do. Now, this is not a rule, but maybe it's a company philosophy, and it's what they think that your personal obligation is. The company thinks that you must enjoy your work to work here. You must enjoy the work you do, right? It's an impersonal opinion. You must enjoy the work, but you don't have to enjoy the work. You don't have to love your job. You just need to do it. So the at work rules is you must not be late, right? As in you must not. Bad idea. Don't do it. There will be consequences if you are late, right? Now, if you think about a lot of offices today, they don't have formal, right? As in you don't have to wear a tie, right? You don't have to, but it's okay if you want. It's okay, but not necessary, right? Can if you want, but it's not necessary. So another one is I must not smoke when I am at work. For a lot of offices in the world today, to smoke inside the office is a crime. It's illegal. You must not smoke inside the office, right? This is a classic mistake that students have confusion with have to and must, and they say, I don't have to smoke at work. So if you compare this, that I must not smoke, bad idea. I don't have to smoke doesn't make sense, because don't have to, it's okay, but not necessary. Now, this makes no sense. I don't have to smoke, no. So you must not smoke when you are at work. So let's look again. You don't have to buy it. It's okay or not necessary. You must not drive too quickly is illegal or dangerous. All right? Okay, guys, that ends this video. In the next video, I want to see have to, must, and should together. Okay, guys, see you there. Hey guys, in this video, I want to show you should, must, and have to together, okay? So the first about should is that it's opinion or advice, right? The second thing is in the pronunciation, the L is silent. The pronunciation not should or should, but should, okay? Should, not should. Ignore the L, should. So we have I have to do it, I must do it, I should do it, okay? 3 ideas. Now, first of all, you remember the be verbs and do verbs in video 1, video 2? On the left, it's you must do it. The negative is you must not do it. And the question is, must you do it, right? But have to is a do verb. I have to do it. I don't have to do it. Do you have to do it, okay? It's important to know the differences in the negative and the questions. Should is also a be verb, right? In the negative, it's you should not. And the question's should you, okay? Now, this is the classic mistake where a lot of people put to after must and should. And this is completely incorrect, okay? So I must do it. I should do it. Now, we can only use must for now, for the present tense. It doesn't have an infinitive, and we cannot use it in the future or in the past. For example, here you can say I'm going to have to do it, or maybe I'm going to need to do it, but you cannot say I'm going to must do it. All right? Now, a lot of languages in translation, you can use must in your infinitive, but in English, to must does not exist. For example, here, I am going to have to buy it to tell him. Now, in the present, it's I have to do it or I must do it, right? In the past, it's I had to do it, right? And the future is I will have to do it. I am going to have to do it. Let's remember, I must is about personal obligations. I have to is about rules and external obligation. I must not is like a bad idea. It's illegal or dangerous. I don't have to is it's okay but not necessary. All right. Should is for opinions or advice. You should take a break. You should eat more veg. And should and must are modal verbs or be verbs, right? I must do it, I should do it. Not never I must to do it or I should to do it, okay? All right, guys, so I'll see you guys in the next video when we're going to talk about the past perfect and the past simple. Okay, see you there, guys. Hey guys, in this video, I want to show you the difference between past perfect and past simple. Okay, let's go. We saw before the differences with the verb have, when it can be a be verb and it can be a do verb, right? We saw these sentences before about the difference between I have time today and I have done it, right? Time is a noun or a thing and done is a verb, the verb past participle. Now, I had time yesterday and I had done it, right? So before we had I have, and now we are changing to had. I had time yesterday, I had done it. So it's the same principle that we're going to use the past participle after had, as in I. Now, when we have had with a noun and had with a verb, one is I had time, I didn't have time. You see the difference in the negative? On the other side is you had not done it. If you're not sure about what is the correct form with the negative with have, check the word after. Is it a noun or is it a verb? Okay? And then for here, did I have time? The question, had you done it? Right? So it's always remembering that have can be a do verb or a be verb. It just depends if it has a noun after, a thing, or a verb. All right? We use the past perfect to talk about something that happened before another action in the past. Okay, let me show you. When we have two things that happened in the past and you want to be clear about which event happened first. For example, I was feeling sick because. Because why? I was feeling sick because I had eaten bad seafood, right? You have two events in the past. I was feeling sick because I had eaten bad seafood. If you start to think about there's two events, but which happened first, right? Obviously, chronologically in time, had eaten bad seafood happened before you felt sick, right? You're describing the relationship between one event and the other. In this case, you ate the bad seafood, which caused the second event, okay? So one event explains why the other event happened. I was feeling sick because I had eaten bad seafood. Or I was late for work. Now, if I ask you, why were you late for work? Why? I was late for work because I had forgotten to set my alarm, right? I was late for work because I had forgotten to set my alarm. Two events in the past and it is clear which happened first. You forgot to set your alarm, you did not wake up, you were late for work. Two events in past and we want to be clear about what happened first. Here's just one more example. The meeting had already started when we arrived. The meeting had already started before we arrived. You have two events in the past and which happened first. The meeting started, then you arrived after, okay? Remember a simple rule. There is no smoke without fire. The past perfect cannot exist without the past simple. It's really true. The past perfect talks about two events in the past. If there is no past simple in the sentence, the past perfect cannot exist. A sentence with had and past participle, the past perfect, must have a verb in the past simple to show multiple events in the past. Now let's remember, we use the past perfect when we have two events that happened in the past. One which happened first, or explaining why a past event happened. The past simple is, I did it, I wanted it, I had it, etc. The past perfect is I had done, I had been, we had thought about it, okay? There is no smoke without fire, and there is no past perfect without past simple, all right? Okay guys, that ends this video. I'll see you in the next video when I want to explain the differences between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. I hope you're ready, guys. See you there. Hey guys, in this video I want to explain the differences between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. Okay, let's go. Until now we have seen the past simple, which is I did it yesterday. The present perfect simple is I have done it. And the present perfect continuous, I have been doing it. Okay? Now let's see with the past simple is I did it yesterday. Past perfect simple is I had done it. And past perfect continuous is I had been doing it. Okay? All right. So with the past perfect, it's multiple events in the past used to show which event happened first, right? Or why a past event happened. With the present perfect simple, we have, and the present perfect continuous. Here we have two examples. One example is, I have traveled to 15 countries in my life. I have been traveling for 6 months, all right? I have traveled to 15 countries in my life is a focus on the result, right? It's like the question, like, how many countries have you visited? Oh, I've traveled to 15 countries. And when we have, I have been traveling for 6 months, it's really a focus on the quantity of time. It's an answer to the question, how long? How long have you been traveling? I've been traveling for 6 months, right? So when we have this idea, I have been working here on this project for 6 weeks, but we have completed only 50% of the project. That I have been working here is about how long, and we have completed is what is the result. If we take the same sentence here, I had been working there on that project for 6 weeks, but we had only completed 50% of the project, okay? So now it's in the past perfect simple, past perfect continuous, but let's just see that difference in meaning. It's not so different. If we look here, I had been working there on that project for 6 weeks. It's a focus on the quantity of time, right? It's the question of how long. How long had you been working there? Oh, I had been working there, Had only completed 50%, now it's focused on the result, right? It's how much of the project had been completed. It's like an answer to the question, how much? What is the result, right? So here we see the sentence again. I had been working on that project for 6 weeks, but we had only completed 50% of the project, right? So I had been working there, how long, how much time? We had completed is the result or the action. We had completed only 50% is about the result, okay? So here we can see the form in the past perfect, right? It's I, you, we, they, he, she, had in the past participle. In the negative, we use had not or hadn't. And with questions, we have to change the word order because here it's a modal verb. It's a be verb, okay? The past perfect continuous, we have the ing, right? IUE, had, been, and the verb and ing. In the negative, we use the word not. And in the questions, we change the word order, okay? It behaves like a be verb. So common mistakes to know before you practice. I had been work. Mistake number 1, people forget the ing. This happens with a lot of students from different countries. They're always forgetting the ing. It's very important. I had been working. I had been working, okay? I had been worked, another classic mistake, not putting in the correct forms. I had been working, all right? So a good example of when we can use this, when can we use this in a real situation? If we can imagine a competency-based job interview question. The example, tell me about a time when you were a good leader, okay? There was one time when I was team leader at a software company. We had been working on the project for 2 months and we were behind schedule. We were able to finish the project on time because I had convinced them to work longer hours. The team had been working for 3 weeks on low priority tasks previously, and I had meetings with them to prioritize the right tasks. We had been working on the project for 2 months. Focus on the quantity of time. How long? We were able to finish the project on time because I had convinced them to work longer hours. Focus on the result. How was the team able to finish the project on time? Because I had convinced them. The team had been working for 3 weeks on low priority tasks. Focus on the quantity of time, right? How long had they been working on low priority tasks? Now let's remember, the past perfect simple is I had done it. Past perfect continuous is I had been doing it. Past perfect simple is about the result, right? What was the result? Past perfect continuous is how long, right? Just similar to the present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. Now let's remember, what was the result? We had completed 50% of the project. How long? I had been working there for 2 years. Okay guys, that's the end of the course for now. This is the final video in the course. If you have watched all the video, congratulations. It was hard work for me to make the course. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you have questions, doubts, problems with the videos, please write to me, contact me. I really want to know. And thank you so much for watching. Okay guys,